Hello, students. In our value education class, today our topic is print media reality, which is the 12th chapter of Joyful Living for class 9. Now, girls, if you are thinking that print media is dead in today's digital age, think again. Statistics show that 70% of Americans prefer to read printed mail and 67% still prefer print over digital. Now, a famous American minister, Malcolm X, once he said that the media is the most powerful entity on earth. Media control the minds of masses. And when we talk about media, we talk about audiovisual media. That is television, social network, radio, and print media. Now, what is the scenario in India? According to an online survey conducted among 3,183 online newspaper readers of India, majority of the online news consumers, and that was up to 90% were still reading printed newspaper. So, girls, you can see that it is clear that traditional print media still has a huge role to play in our day to day life. Today, the print media has advanced so much that we can get a lot of information through newspapers, magazines, and books. Using both words and pictures, print media conveys meaning to us through newspapers. It is important because it is a permanent record and can be used for repeated references as well. Tons of printed material come out of the press every day. There are papers printed daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly. Now, media means the main means of communication. And if I put it in other words, media is the communication outlets or tools used to store and deliver information or data. The term refers to components of the mass media communication industry, such as print media, publishing, the news media, photography, cinema, broadcasting, and advertising. The mass media serves information, interpretation, instructive, bonding, and diversion functions. As a gatekeeper, the media functions to relay, limit, expand, and reinterpret information. With the advent of technological advancement, communication has become faster and immediate and available to a greater number of people. Events in distant places can be brought to life to us. Hence, we receive a lot of information about the world we live in. As knowledgeable citizens, we can build our nation. Knowledge gives self confidence. Information can create unity, communion between sections and communities of people in a nation. Information transformed into knowledge is power. Knowledge helps us build relationships and forms a world community which we call global village. Information awakens compassion and draws our attention to the victims of various kinds of crimes. shared knowledge can contribute to the enhancement of human well being. In 1995, India had 28,491 publications in 13 main languages and other dialects, with a total circulation of 80 million, reaching a large segment of the urban and rural population. Now, girls, we are accustomed to think that whatever is printed is true. A study of newspaper can help us to explore this fact or myth. It will teach us to sift fact from opinion, enable us to accept the truth, and reject whatever is biased. It is a wonderful way to know about different people's perception of society. The statements that are factual are objective, and those that are opinions are subjective. In order to ensure objectivity in some statements, verification is required. The reporter has to be careful with his vocabulary to keep fact distinct from opinion. Telling the truth as it is means stating the fact pure and unadulterated. Don't we often read too much into the news and blunder by mixing opinions with facts? When we read news reports, are we aware of the distinction between facts and opinions? The reader of every newspaper wants to know the answers to the six basic questions, namely who, what, when, where, why, and how. This will enable one to have a satisfactory understanding about the facts presented. The answers to these questions are found usually in the very first paragraph of the news report. This is a significant feature of all news reports. The other paragraphs only give more details of the why and the how. Thus, news reports have an inverted pyramid structure that puts the most important information, that is the five W's and one H. Five W's: who, what, when, where, and why, and one H is how, nearer the beginning. The feature follows the normal pyramid. The fact is not the main point of the story. The five W's and one H are not necessarily answered. There are a gradual development of the central theme. The emphasis is on the language, style, vocabulary, and so on. Now the question comes, who controls the news? Today, the powers that control and shape the news and public opinion are the business group, industrialist, and the government. Now, how can we respond to the news we read? The answer is very simple: through the letters to the editor. Yes, it is a feedback. The letters to the editor is a space provided for every citizen to voice his or her opinion about current events, problems, and issues that need to be brought to the attention of the general public. In writing to the editor, the writer exercises his or her democratic right. It is also an expression of a socially responsible citizen who is alert and involved in the needs and problems of his or her environment. It must be brief in about 100 words or so. It must give one's point of view very clearly. Referenced must be quoted, although some of the letters may be rejected by the editors of various newspapers. This exercise, nevertheless, is a powerful lesson in social concern. It is also very effective in motivating us to participate in mainstream media for the betterment of the society. A newspaper is a piece of material which provides knowledge of all the latest news and events happening in the world. Since its origin in 17th century, the newspaper has become an essential part of our daily life. Reading newspaper is a very useful activity to start our day. It gives us a brief knowledge into the real happenings in the country and around the world. For both children and adults, there are many useful columns like political news, tech news, editorials, puzzle and game, etc. There are several advantages of reading newspaper in our life, which cannot be underestimated. Newspaper is a treasure house of information that increases its wealth every day before coming to our doorsteps. Every morning we get to read newspaper. With newspaper reading, we perpetually enhance our vocabulary, reading skill, and knowledge, and a lot more. Now, let us discuss the benefits of reading newspaper or magazine, journal, books for the students. First and foremost, the habit of reading strengthens reading and writing skills. These are the best source of providing good reading ability as it makes readers active learners. Reading newspaper or journal is a healthy activity for every individual and especially for students. As the time passes, they get full command on reading and vocabulary. Newspaper reading also improves writing and reading skills of an individual as many difficult words come while reading a passage that might confuse a reader. Making a habit of reading newspaper daily increases the chances of better reading with good vocabulary. The next benefit is newspaper reading provides entertainment and sports news. A number of sporting events is organized from time to time in the country and across the nations. One can get all information about the list of players, which game is going on currently, medals tally, players ranking, who won which medal, the winners and the competitors, etc. News about the economic condition of of a country, games and sports, trade, commerce and entertainment can be gained from any such print media. In short, newspaper, journals, books give us worldwide information. The third benefit It is the best source of general knowledge. Knowledge coupled with a good expression sets a stage of success in any examination or competition in life. Students easily get course related information through newspapers about recent discoveries and latest inventions. These are a treasure love of information for students at the time of preparation of competitions, contests, and quiz shows. With these, we can get unique ideas about what is going on at present and what is in trend nowadays. The fourth benefit, get up to date with politics. Man is a social animal. In order to live peacefully and comfortably in society, he needs to remain updated about what all is going on across the globe while sitting in a corner of house. Reading newspaper enables us to remain well informed with anything. It will be easy for those who ready daily to their extent. Newspaper carries information about politics, sports, general affairs, and lot more. Number 5 or the fifth benefit is useful ideas about researches and projects. In schools and colleges, you have to undergo a lot of researches and to deal with school projects. For all this, you need to search for various ideas, creation, and a better design. Thus, a journal or a newspaper is a handy source of getting multiple topics as almost recent searches are discussed in it. Not only ideas, but news about many discoveries, launches, and establishments are also published in newspapers. They are really helpful in covering up projects. The sixth benefit of reading newspapers or books is it improves vocabulary skills. At one page of newspaper or book, there comes a section where so many useful games like Sudoku, puzzles, riddles, tongue twisters, etc. are published. These types of mind games help in improving the vocabulary skills of children. Daily reading of newspaper enhances the vocabulary of students as they learn different words from there. They can note them down with their meanings, as good vocabulary helps in writing good essays and assignments in examination. The seventh benefit can be newspaper reading or reading habit makes them a good speaker. Students get information about various topics with the help of newspaper or any journal or book. They become a good orator, which further helps in taking active part in debates, speeches, and discussions. When a student possesses knowledge about different topics, he or she can be able to speak without any hesitation in front of others. This ultimately increases his or her level of confidence. So, reading is a habit which can be a tricky activity for those who don't know how to read. While thinking to learn a new language, there's no other better option than to take the help of newspaper as it comes in different languages in different cities according to the mother tongue of the people living there. Reading newspaper, journals, magazines, books daily is a really good habit that provides a great sense of educational value. It carries a lot of information about the happenings in the world. What all is going on in the country, town, and nearby areas. In fact, we get all necessary related information through the means of newspaper. So, students, the benefit of reading books, magazines, or newspaper is humongous. It's limitless. So, try to build up a habit of reading books, educational journal, and newspaper, whatever you like, and hope you will make a positive start now. Thank you all.